Hi, what's up? I'm Andre from the YouTube channel Blattner Comedy, Eddie, the Blue Ranger on Power Rangers Hyperforce, and you're watching Power Rangers Action Activate.
I'm Gazbot. This is Action Activate. We're a Power Rangers show, and I'm here,
We are.
as always, with...
Big Dawg Defender.
That's right. How are you, sir, Big Dog?
I'm doing pretty good. I just realized while we were waiting for the intro to stop that we somehow keep semi-coordinating our outfits. We have green and black rocking real hard.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, well, 9 times out of 10 I have a black t-shirt, so that's not that impressive. But the green, yeah.
I know the secondary color. We've done that multiple times, where it's like you and I almost always wear black shirts, and it's like, oh, again, all right.
Yeah. And they're both monsters too. Like the Hulk technically is like a monster.
Yeah, that's a game that we do that is pretty special. Speaking of special games, that is the name of the episode. Special episode, Pan Global Games. Gazbot, initial thoughts?
I feel like I should have liked it more than I did.
I, surprisingly enough, started not liking it and thinking I was going to really not like it. And then once I accepted what it was, I enjoyed it a lot more than I initially thought.
Yeah, there's definitely some Ravi stuff to talk about.
We'll get there. Don't spoil anything.
Oh,
but,
okay.
You know, jumping ahead, we'll dive into it in more detail as the episode progresses. But we get the introduction of the Steel, which is kind of cool.
Now who's jumping ahead?
So let's just dive right in.
Okay.
Similar to one of the events at the games.
And speaking of dive, I grabbed this screenshot. I went through the whole episode and grabbed screenshots as I went. And then as I was uploading, or I was doing something, and on YouTube I saw some other reviewer, and I don't remember who it was now. I'm sorry, I should give credit. But their thumbnail about this episode, they posted it before we did, and it had Samurai Blue and Ninja Steel Gold, and was like, they're in this episode. And I'm like, what? I just watched that episode. And I'm like, maybe it's kind of like when Dino Charge Black was in it, where he had a costume and we didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
You know? And apparently Gold is not in it at all, like they thought he would be or something. So I kind of speed watched the episode that they put up because I didn't have time to really watch it before this. But the reason I have this screenshot is because they said that Kevin from Samurai, who was a swimmer, an Olympic swimmer at the beginning, they had to give up his career to become a samurai. This is him. I don't think it is, but it's also really hard. I know you can't see the picture, but it's.
I can't.
I imagine if it is him, it's stock footage from Samurai, and maybe that's why they recognized it, because the actor has a wet cap and goggles and is half submerged in water. And it's like, I guess it's roughly the same body shape and skin tone, maybe? You know, so, but they didn't say like, ooh, I think this might be Kevin. Wouldn't that be fun? They're like, that's Kevin. How good for him. I don't know. If anybody knows more definitively if this is actually supposed to be Kevin, let us know in the comments. It would be cool if it was Kevin, and that would be a nice little tie-in there.
Yeah, but, actual canon versus head canon. Who's to say?
And I think it might have been head canon, but they presented it as though it was actual canon. So that's why I grabbed that screenshot. But the Boxed In is the name of the episode, which I just got, actually. I didn't get it first.
So
yes,
we dive in. The Pan Global Games are going on. We get to see all these different events, like you said. We see swimming, we see track and field, we see all this stuff.
Yes.
And all of the Rangers are talking. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked! I want to go see weightlifting," which is what Robbie says.
Right.
Oh, I want to go see high jump. Nate says, and everybody's
which
like,
should have
"Oh
been Zoe."
yeah." Blah, blah. I mean, I know, but you know,
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. He probably said high jump because he wants to go to something that Zoe wants.
Yeah, there you
Ninja Steel.
Okay, there we go. Ninja Steel.
So everybody's all jazzed up, ready to go see the games. And Commander goes, "First of all, what are you guys goofing around about?" They're like, nothing. So they're like, "Yeah, that's right. So you guys need to go check the Morphex towers because you're Rangers and that's your job." And fine. Like, 3.5 out of 5 of them are like, you know what? Yeah, we are Rangers. We have to do this. And then we haven't seen him for a while. He stayed in his cave all of winter, but winter is over and it is now spring. And vintage Jerk Ravi is back in this episode.
I don't think he's as bad as vintage Jerk Ravi. I think there's definitely an aroma of Jerk Ravi, a soupçon, if you will, but he wasn't full blown Jerk Ravi because he was more petulant, sulky. He wasn't like
yes,
yeah, but yeah,
it perplexed me because they went from I am a jerk who always follows the rules and that's why I'm a jerk to I am the biggest whiner baby in all of Beast Morphers throughout the entire episode, minus maybe
what?
Maybe 1 minute he is not.
I think you're exaggerating a bit, but it is weird that they brought him back as a little bit of a jerk in the exact opposite way. I agree.
It makes no sense.
However, I think Devin was showing good leadership because he's like, "Oh,
I
you're right,
agree.
Commander. Sorry," and he even says, "Hey, 3 of us have to go. If we all do it together, we'll get done faster. Maybe we could all catch part of it." And I thought that was totally fair. And what I didn't like is that when Ravi's like, "No, how about only 3 of us have to go and we draw straws and whatever?" Then Nate's like, "Yeah, it sounds good." And Steele's like, "Uh-huh." I'm like, everybody just turned on Devin and he's like, all right, like fine, I guess I'm whatever. Like so
well,
like
the thing about Steele is like he was fairly neutral depending on what everybody was doing. He said in that he's like
he's a big kid.
That makes logical sense. And then they did it and like Steele, I was like, Steele's naive. He always gets a pass whenever he like goes one extreme or the other.
And he
like
was on board
I'll let it go.
He was on board with the first plan too. Yeah, but Nate, I don't know, but it really is Ravi being bad and Devin being good is what it was here.
Yes.
So then they put all the names in the hat and they pick him, and this is where Ravi was the biggest jerk because he's like, "Oh, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me," and the last one's Abe, and he's like, "It's Abe." Aha! Oh wait, not Abe. Nate. I said his actor's name. And he's like, "Yeah!" And then him and Steele are literally like, "Boo! Yeah, bitches!" I was like, "Okay, that's a bit much there, Ravi." It's
and then all the Rangers are just like, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed." All episode.
Pretty much, yeah. So
they just have a face of like, I guess we have to work while you get to go be a giant turd.
Wow. You know what it is? I think he's not being that horribly bad this episode. But I think there's that baggage of how bad he was for how long he was, because this is not that unusual for one Ranger to kind of be a little bit of a jerk for an episode and then learn their lesson. I think because it's him and because of your history, you're treating him much harsher than you normally would.
Well, also, taking my personal bias out of it, it's like we said, they made him a jerk, but not in the way that it would make sense for him to be a jerk.
He should have been,
everybody else should have been how he's being to a lesser extent, and he should have been, guys, we're a Ranger first. We have to get this done. My mom's going to be so mad. He is literally the only one, and still here and there going like, oh, I want to watch weightlifting, guys.
Something else.
I don't want to go to the Morph Tower.
I hate that. I hate what you're doing.
That's what you have to look forward to with children. I'm just warning you now.
You're not my child though, so.
Thank God.
Are you?
For both of us.
Yeah, that would be. But anyway, we're going down some weird paths here. It occurs to me because I'm looking at this image of Roxy, evil Roxy, that Blaze and Roxy, the good versions exist, and they're in this world. Isn't Ravi dating her somewhat, at least?
I thought of that this episode. Like
shouldn't she be going to the games with them? Like,
yes, we haven't seen them except for one episode,
right?
And I'm like, where did they go? So right off the bat, because of that, I was like, is this kind of a one-off episode where a bunch of pre-established stuff we're just not going to bring up? Thankfully, I was wrong. But I've determined that we're never going to see Blaze and Roxy in human form ever again. Maybe in the finale.
We'll definitely see them again. I don't know how significant it'll be. But also, you know what other humans we didn't see?
Oh, we never saw Ben and Betty.
Not even for a second. Not even walking down the hall saying hi. Isn't that weird?
That's awfully weird.
Yeah. And like not having a big... I kind of thought after we were like halfway through it, I'm like, maybe they're not gonna have a big comedic thing. They'll just say, "Hey, welcome back to base," or like have like a little moment, but not have nothing. Not 1 second of screen time. Isn't that weird?
Thank you for bringing that up. You get a Ninja Steel point because I didn't even notice.
Okay.
And the very last scene in this episode would have been a perfect way of having them in, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. So, in the cyber dimension of Pointy Evil, they also noticed that everyone's watching these pan-galactic games, and Roxy's...
Playing global?
Nah, galactic, why not? And Blaze is like, I got a plan, and Roxy, kind of uncharacteristically, is like, oh, goody, I'll be in on it with you. I chalk it up to boredom, because they're obviously kind of rivals, but she gets excited about it. And then we cut to the Rangers going to investigate the Morphex Towers. Inspect, thank you. And when they get there, of course, a Robotron shows up, and he's sort of a weightlifting guy with like a kind of a goofy grin. I like his design. It's not my favorite ever,
cool.
but I like the colors. I like the kind of grin he has. I didn't realize he was a weightlifter guy at first. I thought it was going to be about drumming because he has all these pads on him, but then I realized his head
there were dumbbells,
Well, his head is obvious, but I wasn't looking at it first. But so he shows up and attacks, and do you have comments, or should I just keep going?
First pun of the episode. Oh, blah, 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 you got this. Looks like you're dead weight to me. Thanks, Devin.
Yeah.
like the puns just coming straight out. I did like his dumbbell bombs that he dropped and totally exploded the Rangers back. And then he gets a big old barbell, throws it, and they get stuck. I thought that was cool too.
I do have some comments about that, but first, so that you can hate on Ravi some more, Zoe rightfully says, hey, Ravi and Steel, we've got, a Tronic, not a Gigatron, whatever, this barbell guy here. Robotron, thank you. And I expected him to be like, oh, okay, I'll be right there. Oh, what a bummer. But, and I have it on screen, you can't see it, but he's sort of like, oh, all right, fine. So here's the thing. He is being whiny, and I understand why that bothers you, but he comes. He doesn't say, I'll be there in a minute, or do I have to? He does just show up and do his duty. He complains about it, but he does show up. So it's sort of a mixed bag, but he definitely had like a punchable face in that moment.
Oh, dude, he has a punchable face a lot of this episode. And this is most difficult for me. I feel the Rangers on this one because I'm like, dude, we just had a good thing going. We got over our stuff. We resolved it. We made up. And now, why you got to do this to me? I don't like having to openly badmouth you on Action Activate. It's not a joy of mine, but you're forcing my hand.
Is it not a joy of yours? You do seem to smile a lot while you're complaining.
Well, that's just me. That's just my normal face.
Zoe calls in reinforcements, and they're like, okay, it's morphin' time. And they all immediately call in their swords, which I thought was weird because, as we know, guns win fights, and all three of them went swords. And they're fighting, and they're not winning, of course, because they're using swords. And then, like you said, he throws the barbells and blows them up, knocks them down. Then he throws that gigantic barbell, which was kind of a fun thing. And they're all pinned under it. And it's a little awkward looking how they're pinned, but you assume it's magic of some sort. At that moment, Steel and Ravi charge in, right in the next time, doing their duty. Again, he complained, but he's there. And Ravi comes in hardcore. He's like beating him up, and he's just like quack, 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 and just really wrecking him, which I thought was kind of cool. What I wanted them to do was have him be like, okay, he's beat, gotta go, bye, and just be like he came in so hard so that he could get out of there quickly, I think that was a missed opportunity because they could have had some comedy with his being petulant. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I like when Steel's like, oh, I'm going to lift this like they did in the game. Yes. So he does a one-arm pull, and he's like, that was practice. He goes for two, still can't do it.
I absolutely agree. That was funny. And he's like, whoa, that's heavy. And then they cut back to the fight with the barbell guy, and Ravi, in addition to just beating him up, he starts doing like wrestling moves because he starts calling out everything.
He power bombs him.
Yeah, he gives him a power bomb, and then he's like, he does some other stuff, and then he's like, oh, how about a shot put, and he throws him into the. Now that's cartoony, but he has super strength, and the robot can survive it, so that doesn't bother me. That is totally fine.
The only thing, and this is the dumbest thing to be bothered by.
Yeah.
That was much more of a hammer throw than a shot put, but I'll let it.
Okay, that's very.
Do you know the difference between the two?
Shot put, you kind of go like this. And I don't know what hammer throw is.
Shot put is just the heavy ball.
It's a ball,
Yes. A hammer throw is a shot put on a wire that you hold outward and spin in a circle and then get. It's kind of like a combination of shot put and discus.
Did he spin before he threw him? Is that what I meant?
Yes, he grabbed his legs, spun him a bunch, and then did it. Which I'm like, that's a hammer throw.
The way Thor flies with Mjolnir, basically.
That's
also a hammer throw.
He does it like this, not like.
Okay, well, there's rotisserie velocity, rotating.
Rotisserie chicken velocity. Momentum.
And it's a hammer throw. That was the joke I was going for. There's a joke in there. You read it yourself. But then he pulls out
I
his
gave
gun.
you the material.
Yeah, you have the pieces. Assemble it later. So he pulls out his gun and he's like, "Hey, how about now the shooting event or whatever he calls it?" And again,
sharpshooting.
Sharpshooting. Thank you. And smartly, he ends the fight with the gun. One shot, it's over. Let's learn from our mistakes, people. Goes over, uses gorilla strength. Him and Steel pull the barbell off. And
Throw it as far as can be.
I do have an issue with this, though. Why, in Power Rangers, any season, generally speaking, with very few exceptions, oh, my head got turned into a pumpkin. Oh, I'm mind controlled. Oh, my teeth hurt. Whatever the thing is, you defeat the monster, the effect goes away.
Yeah,
so when
I thought
he got
that
defeated,
too.
how come the barbell didn't disappear or at least lose its power? Like, yeah, I think they just wanted to give him a chance to show off, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, like, you couldn't have done it without me. And then we're like, yay, the day is saved. We're all good. We're all going to join in friendship. Nope,
Yeah.
Ravi's just like, you guys are terrible. I had to save you, and I miss weightlifting right now because you are incompetent.
This was his lowest point. This was his lowest
Yes.
point because he literally says, like, did you even try? Like, how hard did you just call me right away? And they did, but that's protocol. You know what I mean? Like, that's, oh, there's a monster. Come
dude.
out. Yeah, that's, and Devin's like, it's not our fault we got captured. He's like, I know, but what's weightlifting? Oh. So that was absolutely his worst part of the episode. I agree. But from here, it's all up. He went, boop, boing, and that's what I like, is that we start, no, am I forgetting something? Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, at the base, a Giga drone is detected, which, again, going back to the past couple episodes, in the middle of the episode, that's unusual for normal formula. Giga drone shows up. Oh, actually, that's weird. Oh, they detect the Giga drone first. Then we see Blaze and Roxy go to this building. And I thought it was awesome because he stabs it. He's like, here's my plan. He puts it in the building. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, the building's going to turn into, like, the biggest, like, Giga drone ever. Like, the equivalent of, like,
that's
an
what I
Ultra
thought,
Zord.
too. It's like,
no. And then it's just, like, it glows. And then, so Devin gets back to base, and he goes out in the Racer Zord by himself. And he starts fighting.
Oh, because Cruz came, and
he
left the previous fight. He's like, fine, I guess we're going to go check the stuff again. Since you're going to go back to the games. All right, guys.
Right. But he had to go back to base to deliver some stuff. So that's why he got back to base first. And so then like, we'll take the Racer Zord. So he starts fighting the Giga drone. And
wait, before that, sorry. One thing I wanted to note is they said a Giga drone's detected, and Zoe's like, there's a ton of traffic. Like, we're going to be late. And it really dawned on me. I'm like, wow, previous seasons, I think they, like, I, as a viewer, really took for granted them being able to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I've commented on this before that they're always showing me in vans and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like for this, she's like, there are too many people. We literally can't get to you fast enough.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And he like weaved with Cruz, which is how he got there. Ninja Steel.
I mean, I agree, but that's not a Ninja Steel at all.
Yep, Ninja Steel. You agreed. You just said I agree.
He weaved with Cruz.
He can weave through traffic.
Yeah,
whereas
that's not any big revelation.
No, that's how he got there first.
He was driving. He left first.
The Ninja Steel point was for bringing up that they can't teleport, and you agreed with me, and I gave myself the point as you had deemed it upon.
You're like trying to retroactively give yourself a point for something that you weren't calling for. Now, whatever. You do whatever you want with your fake paper points. They're not. These are not official Ninja Steel points.
The monopoly money of points.
Yeah.
All right.
But I became Jeff Goldblum. What you need to see. No, I was gonna make a point, and I'm forgetting it. Ninja Steel,
Racer Zord.
Razor Zord. Yeah, I don't remember.
Goes to fight the Giga drone.
Goes to fight the Giga drone. Whatever. We'll just move on. You purged my memory with your Ninja Steel foolery. So then the building glows purple and kind of puts a beam and sucks him in, and that's what he did to the building. We're like, oh, okay, sure. And like, he goes inside, and now the Racer Zord is inside, and it's like what they're calling a boxing ring.
It's definitely a wrestling ring.
It's definitely a wrestling ring. I have mixed feelings about this whole part.
I owned it. The reason I enjoyed it is because I'm like, they're owning how ridiculous it is. I am now in. We're acknowledging that it is dumb and ridiculous, and that is why I'm accepting it. If you try to take it too seriously, you don't like it.
I wanted it to be more ridiculous if they're going to go that far. I like the idea that it's like Zord's fighting in a wrestling ring. I don't know why they had to get sucked into a building, to do it, but whatever. It really bothered me. They kept calling kind of like the shot put hammer throw. They kept calling it boxing. They kept saying boxing, and it was even when they're fighting, it was obviously wrestling, and they had tag team. They're doing like wrestling stuff. So that annoyed. But I like the premise. So like I should have loved it. I didn't hate it, but it was like not enough. They should have called it wrestling, and I wanted to see like this is how much I wanted to see like when the Racer Zord opens his eyes, he's got like a feather boa on. He's like, what? And then it's like gorgeous Racer Bot, like, and then like the bad guys come in. I wanted them to have like weird gimmicks and like, like, so I think it didn't go quite far enough for my taste.
I think this might have been Sentai footage is why.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah. But I mean, they have wrestling there too, and they're
I
certainly
know,
aware of
but it's
American.
not from my understanding, it's not nearly as ridiculous as some of the old WWFs.
I think it depends on what you're watching. I mean, they have Kinnikuman, Man, which is all about muscle, which is wrestling, and they have crazy gimmicks and stuff. So I don't think.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's Japanese has nothing to do with how far they took the gimmick.
This also was like 8 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, Kinnikuman Man is from like the 70s or 80s.
I know, but I'm saying like everything changes in phases. So how we view wrestling now and how wrestling was viewed then are probably different.
Everything changes in phases.
We all go through the day.
The eyes you use today are not the same as yesterday. Everything changes and goes through such phases. I don't know.
I don't know
Listen,
where you were going. I just need to give you some
I
background.
appreciate it. I don't know. I'm in a weird mood today, I think.
Yeah, it's all good, man. So we have them in the ring.
Yes.
We have Devin against a Gigadrone.
Yes.
Let's see.
The other Rangers
I
are
like
dispatched.
the intro of the Gigadrone.
Oh yeah, with the fire and the pyrotechnics and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, all right, I guess I have to fight this Gigadrone.
Well, and
whatever.
I liked that. That's what set me up thinking there was gonna be more of that kind of fanfare,
The Rangers try to get in the building. Yep. Ravi uses Gorilla Strength, can't get through the door. Nate says, all right, if Gorilla Strength didn't work, something's up with this building.
That's accurate, and I agree with Nate. And it probably wouldn't have worked, but it bothered me that it was a door that looked glass that he tried to open, and then they didn't shoot at it, hit it with a sword. Again, it probably wouldn't have worked, but like, really, you're not going to try to break the glass door? Like, whatever. But yeah, so then they see inside the side of the building, and they see what's going on. They're like, is that what's going on in there with Devin? And they see the wrestling ring, which they keep calling a boxing ring. Why do you think they kept calling it a boxing ring? Just because the final Gigadrone had like, boxing gloves?
I think that's why, to go on theme.
Yeah. They could have said kickboxing, maybe. I don't know, because there was a lot of kicking too.
Yeah, that they misrepresented, because that's what makes me like solidify my theory that it's Sentai footage, because that was clearly a Muay Thai based Gigadrone.
Yeah, because he had the things on his like guards, I guess. On
yeah,
his
and the
feet
way
as well.
he was doing his hands, I was like, okay, they're definitely hamming up that he does
Right.
kickboxing.
So they decide, let's go get a Megazord, and so Nate and Steel go to get theirs, and then we cut back to Devin in battle. Oops, I skipped ahead a little bit. And he wins. He defeats his opponent.
Yeah,
so it's like,
he's
cool.
like, woohoo, did it.
Done. And so now we see, which is impressive, because we've seen the Racer Zord once in a while go one-on-one, but it's not always a clear victory, and sometimes he runs out of Morphex or whatever. So then Nate and Steel's Megazord shows up and tries to lift it off, and they can't. So they're like, well, let's try to blast it off with rapid fire, and they can't. So like, okay, this is serious. We don't know how to get in here.
Favorite part of this scene.
Yes.
It's not working, but we're so strong.
Yeah. The only thing that would have made it better is if he's like, we used a gun.
Yeah, that would have been better. One thing I want to note,
Yes.
and I don't remember if it's in the first Gigadrone fight or the second one, but I can't remember a time where a Megazord did like a back kick or a spinning back kick. And this may be the first time we've seen that kind of kick from a Megazord.
You know specific martial arts moves better than I do, but I feel like I have seen that before. Maybe there's some variant to it that I'm not picking up on.
I feel like when it comes to like bulky Zords, like maybe in like Ninja Storm or something, when it's all thin and it's like not in a bulky suit. It's
Jungle Fury. I feel like they did kicks with that. No.
In the Zords were bulky though. Like they did the spinning thing.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't do. Yeah. Like this was the most like fluid I've seen a Zord fight. And even with the Gigadrone, like when he was doing some of the Muay Thai stuff, I was like, that looks a lot more spry than we're used to a soccer ball kick.
Yeah.
Punch. like I thought it was really cool actually.
I liked it too. I just maybe wasn't aware of how unique-ish it is. But
Yeah, the angle too helped. Where I'm like, okay,
they had some
that
good angles
took
in this fight for
yeah,
sure.
they took some coordination because I'm thinking like that must be awful to try to move in that suit. And then
Yeah.
like they're doing some of the stuff. I'm like, well done. Like even one of the punches that the Racer Zord did, I'm like, that was good coordination with the other one because I'm like,
Right.
you can't actually punch it. You're gonna break like whatever material
Right.
they're using. So it was like
Must have
really
been
well
rehearsed
timed and
many,
stuff.
many times, I'm sure.
Yeah, like the choreography in these, as ridiculous as it got at times, I really enjoyed
I
for
completely
the
agree. I
for
enjoyed
the
the
boxing
fight.
match.
Like I said, I didn't hate it. I liked it, but I felt like I should have loved it.
Yeah,
I-
the boxing match though was probably the best part.
You're intentionally saying boxing multiple times just to get me angry, and I'm
Well,
aware
that's
of
what it
this.
says in the show, because it's a boxing.
I'm taking a Ninja Steel point.
You can't revoke it just out of personal bias.
I
It's
took
not
it.
how it works.
Yeah, I can.
There's only one way that that can go through is if you acknowledge that words have no meaning on a planet under the Cape of War.
And apparently this planet is under Cape of War because they keep calling it a boxing match, and it's not. So anyway, I think this
Keep
is one
on,
of the
keep it
kicks.
on.
Yeah, here's one of the kicks. So Devin defeats his first opponent. Now he has to fight a tag team match. And here's
Yeah.
this other guy comes out, and he is, like you said, a Muay Thai boxer, not the final guy. But they're like, oh, look, he's dancing. It's so crazy. And why is he dancing? Which is weird because I feel like he's just doing like traditional Muay Thai stuff. But they're calling it dancing. Like, and I know this
Yeah,
is,
it's like kind of what he's doing beforehand. Yeah.
but I know it's for kids, and I know kids might not know what Muay Thai is. Adults might not. I barely know what it is. I mainly know it because of Street Fighter, you know. But it's
Yeah.
fine. It's a show that has a lot of martial arts. You could just say, oh, he has some new kind of martial arts called Muay Thai, or he's some kind of kickboxing robot, or like.
Yeah.
It's weird when they do stuff like that where they're like, well, we can't acknowledge this is a fighting style. Let's pretend he's
We have to
dancing.
intentionally like call it something wrong.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. So he comes out and he's dancing, and then he does like 3 kicks in a row, and it's just like devastating.
Yeah, just boom,
Right.
boom.
But then outside, another Giga drone lands, and this one's got boxing gloves as well. And he is. It's weird. It's unclear why he showed up because the Megazord had already left, and so the Giga drone shows up, and they're like, "Well, he's probably gonna get sucked in the building. Let's hitch a ride," which I thought was a good idea. And they fire their
Yeah,
little
it's
grappling
using
guns.
the cables.
Yeah, and I like when they do stuff like that we don't see all the time. And it's funny to see the little teeny Rangers swinging on him. And then he does get sucked up, so they were right, but immediately they fall out. So I like that they had a plan. It didn't work out, but they weren't stupid or anything. It was just, hey, it didn't work out.
Here's the problem I had with that.
Okay.
I agree with everything you said.
Except.
I hate when they do stuff like this where like they fall out of the Zord or something happens. I'm like, you're falling hundreds
yeah.
of feet.
Yeah.
Hundreds of feet.
But we've seen them jump hundreds of feet to get into the Zord. So if they have the ability to jump up, they could survive the jump down, the fall down, whatever.
Landing with this much gap jumping upward is different than jumping, missing the Zord, and then going back down.
I'm allowing that it's part of their base power set as Power Rangers, because every Power Ranger, almost every Power Ranger in every season, can jump up onto a Zord and or go flying out of a Zord height and be okay. They might take damage, but like the morphing grid protects them, the human inside. It's nothing new. You might not like it, but it's not like, ooh, Beast Morphers messed up. It's like that has been part of their power set since Mighty Morphin.
I guess.
Ninja Steel. It wasn't.
Keep going.
It wasn't enthusiastic, but I'll take it. All right. So then a bunch of Tronics show up to distract them. I thought it was weird that Blaze and Roxy didn't show up with the Tronics. They didn't have to or anything, but like, what are they doing? You know, why aren't they involved?
I think what I'm chalking that up to is like weird schedules
with the actors. I thought the same thing for the same reason that we didn't have Ben and Betty, and the mayor / Evox never shows up either. They mention him.
Yeah,
but we never see him.
Like for all of them, it was like, okay, this was their day off. So like on a different day, we're just gonna film this with Blaze and Roxy because Scrozzle wasn't there either.
Scrozzle was in that first scene, but I don't think he said anything. It was just like the suit standing there.
Yeah.
Unless did he have one line? I don't think he even had one line.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. So it's weird. A lot of main characters effectively not in this episode or barely.
Because it's a special episode.
What's special about it though?
It literally says special episode.
I know,
it doesn't
but I
have a
don't
number.
understand what's special about it. Like the only thing, I mean, spoilers.
This was supposed to air
during the Olympics.
Correct.
Yeah.
And because the Olympics aren't happening right now,
Yes.
they pushed it to right now, where the last episode we got was supposed to be the last one that we were supposed to.
No, aren't we getting one more after this?
I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
we did get this and that extra
Because that
episode.
was 7. This would be 8. 8 is normally the end, but we're going to get 9.
Oh, yeah. That's why. Okay.
So
yeah,
they didn't want
this
to
is-
end on this. They want to end on whatever the next one is. There's probably more of a mid-season cliffhanger or whatever. But my
Correct.
you misunderstand my question. I'm not saying what do you mean they called it special? What do you mean it's tied into the Olympics? I'm saying what makes it special? What's special about it? There's nothing special about it. It's just it was going to be an extra episode. That's what's special about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like the Christmas special aired after the season finale.
Right, but it's special because it's a Christmas episode. I guess it's special because
This is
it's an
the
Olympics.
special,
All right.
not calling it the Olympics
Does
episode.
that mean we're
It
not
just-
going to get a Christmas episode?
No, we probably should in the fall
Did
or
we
in the
get-
winter.
Wait, we got one last year and a Halloween. So we should get a Halloween.
Halloween was during the season. Christmas was 100% outside
Okay,
of the season.
but I don't care if it comes later, before, whatever. I want a Halloween episode and I want a Christmas episode. And if we don't get one of them because of this stupidity, I'm going to be mad. Not that
We
it's
should
that.
get one.
Okay. Well, we better.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
Hasbro, if you're listening, Gaz will be really upset if
I
you
will.
don't give us
I
those.
absolutely will. So a whole bunch of Tronics show up and they start firing their guns immediately, and all the Rangers are like, whoa, and get knocked back because guns win fights. So then Nate and Steel start firing their guns and take out a bunch of Tronics. Ravi and Zoe are like, let's use our Beast X power mode. What is it called again? Is it just Beast X mode?
Yeah, B-Sex armor or something.
Okay, so they go to Beast X mode.
And he does his weird matter manipulation that I hate so much.
I also do not like it. I will say, and it's a fine distinction, I don't like it ever. When he pulled like a girder or whatever out of a wall, that bothered me more than getting a boulder out of asphalt. It's still kind of dumb, but at least he's getting a big rock from something that's rock, as opposed to pulling like something through a wall. Like, I still don't like it. It's a fine line distinction. This is a D instead of an F, is what it is to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Zoe, and then he throws it and he knocks out like all the Tronics, but then a new pile show up real quick.
They literally
Yeah.
they go off screen and then they run back
Yeah.
on screen.
So that Zoe could then blast him from the sky, doing her jumping thing, which I liked better last time. Because I get that she's jumping on little energy pockets, but last time she sort of ran in a circle and kind of like it still looked like she was skipping. This really looked like she was just flying. Like, whatever.
No, she like jumped up, stopped on an energy platform, shot, jumped to a different energy platform,
That's
shot.
and I don't think she should be able to stop. And I think last time it was a lot more running through the air, which for whatever reason in my brain reads better than
Yeah,
this.
I agree with you. This like my only note that I put on here is Beast X is OP.
Yeah, Beast X is. I'm not.
It's a huge MacGuffin.
And again, I don't love the suit either. So it's not even like, well, we get a really cool suit out of it. Like, it's just, and it's not bad. There's worse, obviously, but I've said this before.
I don't think the suits bother me. I think the
They don't-
powers
the
are
power-
what. Yeah.
the powers are OP. I don't like them, but actually, I like Devin's the best because even though
Yes.
it's OP, it makes sense that that's the next evolution of his power.
Exactly.
But the suits are very whatever. They're very vanilla. They're very bland. It's just an extra piece of armor. If it was a cool looking suit, I would say, well, the powers are OP, but look at these cool suits they get. I'm saying we don't even get a cool suit, so it's like just leave it out altogether. Like, you know, even
I think like the way I chalked it up because of how this season is structured in the Sentai,
Mhm.
like this looks functional. It doesn't get in the way. There's not all these gaudy
I agree.
pieces on them.
Yes.
It's armor that generate their core beast powers from the inside, yada yada yada. However you have to explain
Right.
it, and it's a distinction.
I understand all that, and I don't think you're incorrect. But the Fury mode that Red gets, I like better. It's still very big, and I complained that the materials used to make it looked a little weird, but the actual design was a little bit more deluxe. I prefer
Isn't it
that.
American only?
Oh yeah, you might be right. Wow, that might be a weird. That might be.
Ninja Steel.
I'll give you Ninja Steel for that. That might be a weird. Oh, there's Levi Weston. I have it paused. I know you can't see. I have it paused with Nate fighting a Tronic, and in the background there's a poster of a cowboy who is Levi Weston, who is Ninja Steel Gold. So I guess that's the other like
yeah,
but-
cameo.
right, but he never showed up at the end or anything. It's just a poster of him. So theoretically, if that was Kevin, both of them are just stock footage / images. But that
Have we established that? Oh, okay, never mind. I take it all back.
that this is
We
in the same
have
universe.
established. Yes.
Because they mention Rita. We've seen. We know it's not Dino
Sledge.
Charge. No,
Oh,
Sledge.
they said Sledge and Rita.
No, Sledge came from another dimension.
Yeah,
You are muted. Yeah, Sledge was in it, but he made a point of saying he came from another dimension. But they mentioned Rita, and they mentioned, I think, the Ninja Storm bad guy that I don't like. What's his name?
Lothor.
Did they mention Lothor?
I thought it was just Sledge and Rita.
Now I'm not sure. Maybe they mentioned Sledge after he showed up. That's weird because if Sledge is from the Dino Charge dimension, which they've established is separate, yeah, I don't know. Sloppy.
I think because he was in Ninja Steel, they mentioned him.
Okay, that makes sense because he came. Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, fine. But yeah, so that's funny that there's Levi right there in the picture. For those,
I was gonna say this continuity. I was like, oh, are they like potentially spoiling something from the future crossover by having these sprinkled in because it's supposed to take place after? But I think that's just us reading into it.
I agree. Although it would have been fun if they had those actors there, like at the Olympics or playing, like, oh look, Levi Weston's playing, and then Kevin's getting a medal. You know, just have the actors come back for one scene. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Nate does a weird move where he jumps on top of a Tronic, which you could argue is sort of a throwback to Mighty Morphin, but I didn't love it in Mighty Morphin either. I don't know, it just seemed really weird to me and out of place.
Yeah.
And Nate and Steel are fighting Tronics just to have something to do because really with Ravi and Zoe, they were completely unnecessary.
Yeah. Now we get done with this fight. They wreck the Tronics as we note. Oh, one thing when we cut back to Devin and Cruz.
Yeah.
When they're getting ready to fight the other two, he's like, "Are you ready, Cruz?" "Yep, something, I'm ready." And then Devin says the weirdest, awkward line to him that I hate. He just goes, "Good bot."
That was weird.
Yeah, like I paused. I was like, "What? Who wrote this? Everything's wrong."
Because it's like good dog, but he's not a dog.
Yeah,
he's the one Beast Bot that is mostly like humanoid.
Humanoid and your friend. You guys are best friends. You're
Yeah,
like, oh, good bot.
I agree. That was weirdly. I think it was supposed to be funny. I think it was supposed to be like good man, like the engineer. Engineer, we got it all set. Good man, engineer. Like I think it was supposed to be the guy, but like good bot. But like it, and
he says it kind of softly too.
Yes,
he's like good.
Because I think the actor, and this is not a dig on the actor, I think the actor didn't know how to read the line, like what it was, and I wouldn't either, because I'm like, what is this? Good bot. Like how do you read that line? Like I feel like again, the only thing I think is that it was supposed to be played for laughs, and it didn't work, and the actor wasn't sure how to say it because why would he know how to say it?
Yeah,
It's
there's
so
no
weird.
reason.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been written, and it shouldn't have been gotten through. Like because it
doesn't. You should have just cut it. Like, you ready? Ready. Okay.
Yeah.
Like. Just use stock footage of you saying okay.
Yeah, or anything. It was very weird. But yes, now he had to fight the tag team, and now he beat one of them, so he beat two of them, and then a fourth one comes in. And at this point, I need to point out the Red Racer Zord is maybe the most powerful single Zord in the entire show at this point.
Apparently.
Because he's beaten two Giga drones in a row by himself without running out of Morph-X or taking enough damage.
Nor using his sword
or taking much damage. Like that bothered me because we've seen the Racer Zord fight, and while he is strong compared to like others, maybe it's I guess you could chalk it up to being in this weird pocket dimension, like But it just was like he's crazy powerful, and again, even in other fights where he's doing okay, he's always running out of Morph-X, like the harder he fights.
Well, he doesn't beat three of them. He just knocks two of them back. One he destroys, two he knocks back.
I thought he destroyed two.
No, so the two tag team ones, the Muay Thai one and the other one, the Muay Thai guy tags in and just kicks him a bunch. And then it's like, okay, and then he gets trapped by the other guy, and they're like, he's using an illegal move. They're not both supposed to be doing it, but who's going to stop it? And he's like holding him, kicking him a bunch, and then, oh, look out, moves out of the way.
And the other guy hits him.
Yeah, hits him
I thought when he hit him, he got destroyed. Because we don't see him again, I thought, after that. We just see the two ganging up on him. You know what? It doesn't... Oh, did you freeze? You froze. All right, I'm going to stop recording. And we're recording, and go.
Okay, so the Racer Zord destroyed the first Giga drone on its own, just in the regular fight.
Yes.
Then, when the kickboxing Zord came in with the other Giga drone, it was beating the crap out of the Racer Zord, and then at one point, Racer Zord moved. The Muay Thai Giga drone kicked and destroyed the other one, then a
So you
third or
agree it
fourth-
was destroyed?
It was, just not by Racer Zord.
No, okay, not directly, but in the fight with the Racer Zord, 2 were destroyed.
Correct. I mean, to your point, if the Muay Thai Gigadrone one-shotted the other Zord
Right.
and repeatedly beat the Racer Zord and it was still there,
Yeah.
I guess that proves your point. So you can get a point for that.
Hey, you know what? We could share it, buddy.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ninja Steel.
There we go. So that fight goes on, and then one thing that they were talking about that I liked. I know at the beginning of the episode we were talking about how Blaze and Roxy in human form weren't here, and I was like, well, is this going to be one where they kind of forget previous stuff? Nope. They bring up the Lion Zord. They're like, hey, you know, it'd be a great idea if we tried to make the Ultra Zord, but with the Lion Zord instead of the Racer Zord.
Right.
Hey, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Which is the one thing that makes this episode not like a ship in a bottle, a totally disconnected thing, because we get a new mode. But I was surprised that they could do it without the Racer Zord.
I wasn't.
But doesn't the Ultra Zord need the Racer Zord normally? Or is the Beast King taking the place of where the Racer Zord would normally be?
Yes, that's exactly.
So they can't both be in it at the same time.
Correct. It's kind of like in Mighty Morphin, it's either you get the Tyrannosaurus or you get the Dragon Zord, and everything can attach to it, but you can't have both.
Yeah, okay. I guess I was just thinking lately it's been like every single thing in one is how it goes, but so they're doing that, but we cut back and the Racer Zord was like stuck in the ropes, and he's like, all right, Cruz, you ready to do this maneuver? And they kind of flip over the ropes, which is fine, and then sort of rubber band themselves into the air so they come down. A little bit weird
do a double kick
with the physics, but fine. And they do a double kick on those two. And at the same time, the Lion Zord, the rest of the crew are coming in. And that was kind of a cool shot that the Lion Zord took the place of the cheetah, and we kind of got them all flying in. And Nate presses the buttons, and I happen to notice, I don't always pay attention, but he pressed, I think it was LUZ, and I'm thinking it's like Lion Ultra Zord or something.
Ultra Zord, yeah.
Yeah, like they made sense, like actually, which again also means that it's American footage, which had been confirmed previously for us. And then we see the Lion. What is it? It's not the Lion Fire Ultra Zord. It's the Lion.
No, Lion Fire was last year.
Right.
Last
So
season,
I don't remember what this one's called.
This is the Beast King.
That sounds right. Beast
King
Ultra Zord. Yeah. So it's cool looking.
I like it better than the regular one.
I still like the Red Racer Zord the best, to be honest. But
I like the Red Racer Zord by itself.
Yes.
I don't necessarily love it when it's in combined mode with anything.
Yeah, it's my favorite Zord in this season. I think for the Megazords, I prefer Nate and Steel's a little bit to the regular Megazord. And this one, here's what I think about this one. Looking at it right here standing, it's pretty cool. When it moves, it's really awkward, and the toys I've seen of it look kind of bulky and bricky. So it's one of those things where, like, as a statue, it's pretty awesome. But when I try to think about it, like, even when it fights, it just seems awkward to me a little bit.
I think the thing I liked about this, even though they made, like, a new spear that was specifically made to break into this wall, whatever.
It'll be the spear it always has, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this mode of the Ultra Zord didn't rely as much on the spear except to break in initially than the other one does. I feel like the other one's like, hey, bring out the Cheetah X Blaster, and great, we're using the spear. This one did other stuff.
I agree with you, and I'm glad that they didn't have a Lion X Blaster of some sort. Because I really was waiting for it to happen.
Or Nate just gets his bow and arrow back, and he's like, and fire!
Right. So they take the big staff spear and try to break open the building, and this time it actually works. They have enough power. And we see the inside kind of rumbling, and they cut it open, and everybody goes flying out. Now, what's a little unclear to me, though, is they show the what I don't know what you call it, the announcer bot, the announcer drone, like flying up out of it. And so at first I thought he was one of the Giga drones that was fighting.
That's what I thought too.
But then they're like, oh, he was the building. But like the building's kind of still there. Like in the shot I have on the screen right now, it looks like he's ripping out of the building. And he doesn't really look at the building. Like I thought, at that point, I thought my original thing was going to come true. Like I'm skipping ahead a little bit, where we were going to see the building kind of stand up and be big. And we need the Ultra Zord to fight it. And like that kind of never happened, which is, it's just weird. And I assume it's the Americans trying to write around what the footage was. But it was just like, I don't know, the whole idea of a Giga drone as a building really intrigued me. And they did not deliver. They did not deliver.
I know. I think it was how they did it. Like if they snuck into the building and there was a boxing ring and you do it like, but then at the same time, like that takes away the like,
Yeah,
like
but
it was
always,
a lose-lose.
Yeah, but always but like the Giga drone didn't look anything like the building they chose either. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like he had a big thing on his back like that looked like the top of that building or something. So I don't know. It just the premise was great, and especially with a new Ultra Zord formation. It's like, oh, the big Super Giga drone building is gonna fight. It's kind of like in Transformers when like Devastator is gonna fight like Superion. Here we go, you know, like. But
Yeah.
whatever.
One thing I also liked is when they broke the building and everybody flew out. They're like, "What is this? Oh my gosh!" And Smash, that's cuckoo bananas. I loved it. I audibly laughed when I heard it.
I laughed at that too. It's the only line he had this episode, and the only line he's had in a long time.
And that's all he needed.
Yeah, it made me laugh too. That was steel-worthy laugh right there.
Yeah.
So now it's a free for all. All the Zords are fighting and everything. But good.
Yeah, keep going.
But it doesn't matter because the Ultra Zord has this sort of like glowing double blade halo son of God, you know, coming from the heavens down, which I think is kind of awesome, to be honest. I like it much better.
Yeah, the arm blades that he used from the Silver Zord, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, and then he gives some like cut slashes, and they fly out, and it's like, okay, awesome, he's winning. What seemed odd though is after doing that and getting a huge explosion, then they win. They're like, yay, we won completely. And then here comes the guy that was the building, even though he doesn't.
Well,
really
first they're like, why is the announcer still talking? And then he's like, ha ha ha, I am Boxertron.
And they said, oh, he was the building. And that's again the part where when they cut, I thought they were going to cut to a building looking whatever. But yeah, I don't even mind the design of this guy. It just doesn't match what I thought he was going to be.
Exactly. I like the design. I once again, I chalked it up to. There's a lot of ridiculous stuff. I like it. What I did like though in the following fight,
yes,
this whole episode had like specials from other stuff, which I appreciated, and it was very subtle. Like we saw a power bomb earlier. That's cool if you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
We saw some other stuff, and then in this fight specifically, he is Boxingtron or Boxertron, one of those.
Right.
And I actually have it written down just so. Boxertron, yes. So he's like, now for my special technique. He does a rider kick. He straight up does a rider kick.
Oh, you're right. You're right. And
Ninja Steel.
Yeah, double Ninja Steel right there.
Yes.
Because I was so hung up on like, again, he's a boxer. Why is his special boxing move a drop kick? Like, makes no sense. But yeah, you're right. Good job. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He does a rider kick, and he's like, oh, it's just taking all this punishment. I don't know what to do. And then they go, hey, Cruz and Devin, do you want in on this fight? Yeah. Like they fist bump, go back to the whole tag team. What do? They do the fastball special
from X-Men, yes. And they even set it up with a pun because he goes, I could take anything you could throw at me. And they're like, oh, yeah? How about this? That was pretty awesome. I forgot about that part until just now.
I loved it.
He lands, he annihilates him. And also, this Boxertron does nothing. None of his attacks really do much of anything. He's just there for laughs. So then the Ultra Zord is like, okay, now it's time to finish you. And he has his staff. Big sword comes out of the end of it. Slashes him with it. We figure that's the end. But no. Oh, wait. Did I miss something? I did. I thought he used a rapid fire attack at some point.
Oh, he did like rapid fire punches.
No, like he used the rapid fire gun in Ultra Zord mode.
Oh, he did. So he did the slashes earlier.
Right. And he followed that up.
Literally, I was thinking, I was like, oh, I guess they're not. Yep, he pulled out the gun to kill the other one.
That is what I thought happened. I must have just forgot to get a screenshot. So, yeah, I like that, too. And then, so he does the big slash, defeats him, stands, doesn't look at the explosion. And then it's just funny seeing, like, how big he is next to the Racer Zord. He kind of looks like, good job, son. Like,
yeah, I know. That's what I thought. I'm like,
he should have said, good bot. Good bot. That would have been appropriate right there.
Yeah, so they do all that. Everybody does the virus eliminated together. Yep. We're great. We go back to the base, and then Steel. Oh, I love Steel. Steel's like, that was a pretty powerful mode. Probably the most powerful Ultra Zord combo we've ever had. It's so powerful, we should call it the Steel.
Yes, and I think Nate didn't give him enough credit. Where he's like, I think the Beast X Super Beast. And actually, Nate's wrong because I can't remember the name of that stupid thing. Call it the
Yeah, I
Steel.
know. The
Call it the
Beast
Steel.
King X Ultra Zord Combo Supreme #2
Also known as the Steel.
with
But
sour cream on the side.
now, now I'm hungry. Going back to Ravi. Earlier, I said this is his low point, and it's all up from there. Because when he whined, after that, he didn't say almost anything. He just was all business. Anything he said was like, "We got to get in there." It was all like Power Ranger business. And when it's all done, he says, "Look, guys, I like they were talking about, hey, maybe we can still catch."
You're forgetting. I have it written down.
Okay,
I am
good.
unfortunately disagreeing with you.
Okay, good.
So he, in the same sentence, flip flops. He's like, "Oh man, like there's like hardly anything left. I have to miss like weightlifting already. There's nothing we can do." And then they're like, "Yeah, sorry, like we have to go back and work." And then he immediately goes, "Yeah, also, I really wanted to apologize to you guys, dude."
That's fine. What's wrong with that?
And within 5 seconds, he goes from incredibly selfish, gets called out on it, and then
That's not what
does a
happened.
full turn.
No,
Yes,
that's not
that's
what
exactly what
He
happened.
was just like looking at the timing, like, yeah, I missed everything. By the way, guys, like I shouldn't have been so hungry. Like he can be disappointed and apologize at the same time. That's totally
He
fine.
only said it after Nate guilted him.
I don't think that's true at all. I think
I
he had been.
100% am willing to put 5 Ninja Steel points on it.
How are we ever gonna find out? Are we gonna talk to the actor?
Rewatch it. No, it shows. Ravi complains.
Mm-hmm.
Nate goes like, "Yeah, sorry, we're going to go work now because we don't get to see any of the games because we have to go look at the rest of these towers
Right.
because there's only 3 of us." Then he goes, "Oh, I want to sincerely apologize to you guys." It goes in that order
I
of
don't
events.
disagree with the order of events. I guess I just read it differently, that he was always going to apologize, and it was just highlighted in that way.
I read it that he only apologized
Because I thought, like, the whole episode, I'm like, oh, Big Dog's gonna hate this, and he's gonna be more on the Ravi hate train. But then when he was like, oh, you know what? Here's an apology. I was wrong. I thought like, oh, okay, at least it makes up for it at the end. But no, your hate was stronger, and he, I guess he's still
Here,
terrible.
let's let the people decide.
Yeah.
Can everybody in the comments tell us how you interpreted this event?
Yes.
And anything else you want to put in the comments because we love reading.
So then, then they go back to the original plan where Devin's like, let's all work together and we might be able to make it to the martial arts, I think he says, I don't know if he says martial arts or karate, but at the end.
Karate.
Okay, we'll at least see that. And they're like, okay, sounds good, fair enough. And so he's like, yeah, like I was the only one who didn't dissent against Devin earlier, and I think that's a good plan. Then we cut to one of the Morphex towers. It's just a weird wide shot where you can see like 3 of them, which they've done a lot of these establishing shots of showing how many there are so close together that, again, it comes back to like Mayor Evox must have some kind of plan here. And if he doesn't, it's going to be really disappointing because they really hammer it home so much. Excuse me. So then they get to where they're going. And I found the ending weirdly disappointing because they're like, okay, we're at the place here. Let's go. And they never get inside. We don't see the beginning of an event. They don't see them sitting in having popcorn. We don't see Levi Weston or whatever. Like it's set up like it should have ended with, okay, let's do our work and get there, or they get there. It ended with walking there. That's such a weird choice. Like I don't know. And you were saying about Ben and Betty now.
I had 3 alternate endings that they could have done, but understand why they didn't.
Okay.
Depending on the timeline and stuff. 1, they go in and we are foreshadowing a future episode where one of the coaches for the karate people is Jason.
Oh, Austin St. John Jason?
Or JDF. Either way.
Yeah,
so we got
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
That's enough. 2, that who is representing Coral Harbor Bay, whatever? Ben and Betty. Somehow they're in these games.
They should be.
Ready.
They absolutely should be. You're right.
And like something like that, some hijinks ensued where they're there. 3rd, literally anything else where they're inside the building.
Yeah, true.
Like hardest to least difficult of shots that you can do.
Because honestly, just them sitting in their seats and having hot dogs, or looking. Oh, look, they're about to start. Hey, we're cheering. Just any.
And then you just hear do 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 credits. That's all you need.
Yep.
A job well done.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird ending. What do you give it overall?
B-.
I'll give it a C+.
I think you want to give it a C, but you're trying not to be as critical.
Yeah, because it wasn't that bad of an episode, but it just, like I said in the beginning, I think I should have liked it more. I wanted to like it more.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't anything really wrong with it, but I just wasn't very excited about it. You
I
know?
liked the Zord. I liked the Megazord fight in the wrestling ring.
That was good, but again, I'm greedy. I wanted it to be more over the top.
I know. I see. My expectations weren't as high as yours, which is why I enjoyed it more.
Maybe. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm giving it a C plus, which is slightly above average. I think the lack of Ben and Betty and the mayor and Blaze and Roxy, that was all added to like weird, like it just felt weird. It felt like a weird episode.
Yeah, it was an off episode, no doubt about it.
Yeah. It was off, and we are soon to be off because that's the end of our review.
Here we are.
Yeah. So B- for you, C+ for me. Not too different. Not as much arguing as we would normally have. We theoretically have one episode left this season. Or I'm sorry, this season. I say this season because it's gonna be like 6 months till we get the next one.
This season, part 1.
This season, part 1. And we'll see where we go from there. But until then, I've been Gazbot.
Big Dawg Defender.
And
To the power.
power.
Laters. Stay high.
I try.
No, that was to them. Not to you.
Who's them?
The actor.
Watching this. Oh god. Oh god. Hey, I have to fart. Do you think I should do it? Like so they can hear it?
No, I'm trying to give a good PSA and you're ruining it with your flashing.
Did you hear it?
No.
Then
but
we're safe.
It may have occurred.
All safe.